Welcome back to the Teacup Trail. It feels so good to be back here with you, Hearties. We are in season 10 of Whencallstheheart. I hope you are doing well. If you don't know what is going on, my name is Joanna. I started this Teacup Trail reviews in honor of one of the greatest shows on TV, Whencallstheheart. I started back in season 6 just because of the crazy dramatic love triangle between Lucas, Elizabeth, and Nathan. And ever since then, I continue on, and the Teacup Trail is actually an honor to Lucas and his teacups. A quick life update if you didn't know or if you are interested. I used to work back at home throughout season 6, 7, 8, and 9, so I had the flexibility to film these reviews, but by the grace of God, I got a better job. Unfortunately, the downside of it is I have to be back in office, and it was a huge adjustment, but it's so good to be working at this new job. A lot of new things I learned, and I get the best of both worlds, payroll and accounting. I started back in May. So it had been a busy summer adjusting to this new job and other summer plans. And I was thinking, how am I gonna do this Teacup Trail? But I am not giving up. I do this just for the fun of it and to meet you Hearties and talk about our great show. Before we start the review, just a few admin rules that I follow on my reviews. If you watch my Sanditon reviews, that's my plan for season 10 of Whencallstheheart. Season 10 is a special number for a season, for a show, right? And I think this season will be the greatest one yet. And I was thinking, okay, you know what? Let's talk about everything. So with that, I will be breaking up the episode into 4 parts, and we will get to talk about every scene. So please expect to have 4 parts review for every episode, and that way it's not too long and we can get into the little details in every scene. I think that's the best way to go. I was thinking just do like a 1 hour review for every episode, but I feel like that's too long. So therefore, I will be uploading every scene with the sound on, but the rule of thumb with YouTube is that, especially with me, is that if I upload every scene more than 15 seconds straight through, YouTube catches it and it will notify me like, oh, you cannot upload this. Then I'll have to edit or send in a dispute to Hallmark, and hopefully, finger crossed, that they will let me upload the video to the public. If not, there will be some restriction, and I don't like that. I think all fans around the world should have equal opportunity to watch my reviews. I think I didn't do this for season 6, 7, and 8. I did it for season 9. So like Sanditon reviews, I use a palm tree emoji for Sanditon, but for Whencallstheheart, I will be using the heart emoji. And if you see the heart emoji on the bottom right corner of your screen, then it will let you know that the scene will be cut or will be ended, and we will talk about it afterward. Feel free to comment at any time, give a like if you're enjoying it, subscribe if you haven't. I am on Twitter. My social handles will be in the description below. I will be adding every episode review to the playlist on my channel, so if you miss anything, there will be an organized playlist on my channel. And I think that is all. We should get started.
Over the past few months, one thing has become clear to me. No matter the challenge, the people of Hope Valley know how to come together.
One more thing, since I don't have cable anymore, I tried to sign up for a Hallmark app, and I didn't realize that the new episodes of our show will not be released until every Thursday. I'm like, that's a long wait. So I was like, oh, just go through the free trial and just let it be, and maybe cancel. In the meantime, I bought a season pass on Amazon, and I was able to watch the first episode right away on Monday night after work. And I thought my first impression of the first episode was that it was a nice start. It's like a slow build up. I thought it was very sweet for the most part. It's just introducing the storylines that will happen this season, like give you like a sneak peek, and there are a lot of things happening in episode 1, and it made me excited for this season. So with that, we start off right with Elizabeth voiceover as she writes in her journal the classic iconic moment in the show history. Like whenever Elizabeth writes in her journal, we get to hear her voice in her mind as she writes in her journal and giving us updates on what is happening in Hope Valley. But it's not a great start, right? She started off like, this is a community, but something happened.
First, the coal mine was destroyed. Then the oil wells dried up. And then we lost the foundry. And with it, the promise of new jobs.
I like to pay attention to the small details from time to time. I noticed that Elizabeth's facial expression changed as she writes in her journal. At first, she was like a bit sad when she mentioned about Hope Valley losing a foundry because that took away job opportunities for the people in the town. But then her mood lightened up a bit when she talked about this.
But in true Hope Valley fashion, Florence, Molly, and Minnie started a swap meet so nothing would go to waste. Rosemary insisted that Lee hire everyone he could from the oil company.
It reminds me of that Bible verse, what meant for evil, God uses it for good. In Hope Valley, they took in a bad situation when they lost the foundry. It lost job opportunities, but instead of being down about it, they came together as a community and to support one another and to stay strong as a town, as a community. Rosemary and Lee came into the picture. We will talk about them in just a minute.
And wouldn't let anything stop her from lending a hand, even though she's just a few weeks from giving birth.
Another little detail, Rosemary baby bump is so adorable, but you can tell like how big it is. So it tells you that many months have passed by since the last episode of season 9 up to this episode, first episode of season 10. Rosemary, she is always on her feet. That's her personality. She is very outgoing, very outspoken.
We've all rolled up our sleeves, relying on generosity and kindness and neighbors helping neighbors. Everyone has dedicated themselves to doing their part and having fun while they do it.
And Lee, he looks happy. They are in that blissful phase of just happy to be parents and awaiting for the arrival of their first child.
As for us, Lucas and I have started planning for a fall wedding, and we're getting a lot of opinions. But we can't wait for the big day.
I feel like we at the audience are the diary, and she talking to us as she writes in her diary. Does that make sense? She's like, of course, diary, audience, you want to know what's up with me and Lucas. She smiled a little bit right there as she changed the topic in her diary, talking about the current phase that she is in with Lucas. They are in a happy engagement season, planning for a fall wedding. I know that there was like a poll, some talks on Twitter like, oh, when they gonna have the wedding? I think Christmas was like the top guesses, but it will be a fall wedding. I think it will be beautiful no matter what. Rosemary is like the unofficial wedding planner for Elizabeth, but it's really exciting, and I'm excited to see the future of Elizabeth and Lucas unfold on TV.
This is your third order this week. I can barely give these away, so I'm grateful, but,
What can I say? I love beets.
well, I appreciate the business.
Keep it coming.
Does anyone ever think of, like, how much money Lucas had? I don't know. I think because he is engaged to Elizabeth, I was just like, like, he must, like, be able to financially support Elizabeth as his wife and little Jack and the future kids that he will have with Elizabeth. Just thinking in the scene, like, he buying beets and it's just keep buying them and spending money on it, and it just shows that he's a smart businessman and that he'd be able to manage his money on his own in running this restaurant. It's just a random thought. Also, I had to look up beets because I don't use that word often, and I was like, what does a beet look like? So there will be a picture somewhere in here, just in case if you are curious.
More beets?
Yeah.
We really don't need beets. We don't serve beets because Gustav won't cook with beets.
I'll think of something.
You know, I know what you're doing. You've done a lot. More than enough.
Earlier in her journal, Elizabeth mentioned to us that Rosemary encouraged her husband to hire as many people as he could from the oil company just to provide them with jobs at Lead Company, lumber company. Now we get to learn that Lucas hired Mike, and Mike was involved in the oil company, and now Mike is working at the saloon under the supervision of Lucas. It's interesting though, like, I didn't expect Mike to be working at the saloon.
You hired me.
Well, you're more than qualified. It's the best decision I've ever made. Well, second best.
Very adorable moment. Lucas realizing, like, wait, Elizabeth is the #1 best decision he ever made. The way that he looked at her is just that look of adoration, and he is definitely in love with her, and he is enjoying this relationship with her. But in general, overall, like, Lucas and Lee have been helping Hope Valley a lot. In one way, they employed a lot of people as much as they can for their own business.
Good morning.
Morning. Wow, that's a lot of beets.
So I've been told.
It's hard to believe how far we've come in just a few months.
I love that melody, that music playing as he watched her come over to him. They said their sweet good morning, and I was just thinking, imagine, like, them waking up next to each other and say good morning, like the first words they ever say to each other on that first morning as husband and wife. I know I'm thinking ahead, but this is really sweet. Even if they're not kissing or holding hands, just a good morning. Like, I feel the chemistry is still there between the two, and I'm really glad that the writers picked Lucas for her. So it had been a few months, like I said earlier. I mean, Rosemary Baby Bump gave away that detail. It had been a few months since the last episode of season 9, and up to this point in episode 1 of season 10, it's been a few months. So a lot of things have changed. A lot of things are going on in every character life.
I know. It's amazing. But there's more to life than work. My grandmother used to always say, mange bien, ris souvent, aime beaucoup.
I need to dust up on my French.
Lucas, he spoke French, and I was like, keep them coming. I think it's attractive whenever he speaks French. Elizabeth, at least she was honest, even though she didn't want to disappoint Lucas in not knowing what he just said in French. I love that quote he said in French by his grandmother. I thought that was a very quick but very meaningful quote to live by in life.
Eat well, laugh often, love much. Now I have to get back to work. I'm doing something.
Doing what?
It's a surprise.
Very cute she tried to get a glimpse inside of the saloon to see what Lucas is up to. Other than that, this couple, I'm so excited to see what's in store for them this season. They are doing well, and they are in that blissful engagement season, and it's just a joy to see this couple blossom.
Carpe diem. Now, some of you may think that poetry can be hopelessly romantic or hopelessly boring.
And hopelessly hard to understand.
Carpe diem, funny enough, that's actually the name of this episode. Elizabeth is teaching her class poetry, and it's so nice to have this show back and to see Elizabeth continue to teach.
Or it can be quite exciting. Here you go, Angela. Now, can any of you tell me what carpe diem means?
Carpa, whatty?
I'm guessing it doesn't mean the carp are biting.
Angela is in class, and it just reminds me of that throwback moment when Elizabeth had a struggle in convincing Angela's parents to allow her to be in class, to go to school, and just to live normal and be with the other kids and have the equal opportunity to learn at the same time with other kids the same age as her. So it's really nice to see Angela in class.
You would be correct. Why don't I give you a hint? Diem in Latin means day, and carpe means seize.
Seize the day?
Exactly, which is what we're doing right here.
I knew what DM mean, but I forgot what carpe means. So seize the day, and I was thinking like, okay, if this is the episode title, like it must mean something. It must mean the theme of the episode and what these characters go through in this episode. Everyone is seizing the day.
Now, the phrase was first coined in ancient Rome by a poet named Horace, who wrote about enjoying the simple pleasures of life and...
There's always something, right? Those two boys arriving to class really late.
Cooper, Toby, glad you could join us.
Sorry we're late, Mrs. Thornton.
Now, as I was saying, carpe diem means we should try to enjoy every moment of every day.
Elizabeth is a nice teacher. In the daytime, like, I don't think the teacher would give a free pass. Cooper apologized to Elizabeth and she accepted and just continued the lesson. Teachers have like 10 senses, like they know when something is wrong or different or something has changed. Of course, Elizabeth recognized those two boys behind Allie and Angela. She's like, yeah, you guys came in late.
Which I have a feeling Cooper and Toby have been doing.
Another little detail, I didn't catch it the first time when I watched it on Monday night. Toby, like you can see the wetness on his shirt. So that's something we'll talk about later on. But I thought that was a important little detail that you might recognize, and it will make sense to why these two boys were late to class. Instead of tough punishment, Elizabeth took the lateness of those two boys into a funny story, a funny example, just to lighten up the mood. So I guess that's better than detention.
Moving in?
Yeah, above the cafe. Minnie offered us the rooms.
Okay, this was like something that I did not anticipate. I think just like the vibe in this scene, caught me off guard. I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna talk about this like right now. I was like talking to myself. I was like, like Faith, May, and Fiona all in one scene, but it's just like a different story about each woman in relation to Nathan. May smiled, she waved to Nathan. Nathan returned the same gesture, the same reaction. Faith, she just like kind of like stopped in her tracks. She's like, should I not? She nodded to him, like she acknowledged him and gave him like kind of like a slim smile, not really happy, but she just like tried to like have a wall between her and Nathan. And Nathan felt that. He was like, she's a little bit cold-hearted. And now Fiona was like my first vote to be with Nathan, honestly. I thought there was a possibility, but the writers decided not to take that road.
3 of you. You're gonna be roommates.
Why not? We're all friends. You know, late night chats by the fire, lots of girl talk.
Fun.
Oh, don't worry, we don't talk about you. Hardly ever.
Nathan like, oh boy, like I'm associated with each of these 3 women and living together as roommates above the cafe. And I thought it was a great idea, a great plan, and they became close friends in season 9 and now in season 10. And Nathan, you know, he going through a lot, especially with Faith at the moment. Fiona, she had this like comfortableness with Nathan. She was like joking with him, like, oh, you know, a lot of girl chat. Oh, don't worry, we don't talk about you. Like, not much. And Nathan like, but I think a part of Nathan kind of wish that they talk about him. Maybe he was thinking Fiona or May will encourage Faith to talk to him instead of him talking to her or initiating the conversation with Faith. But it's good to have a friend, a female friend, and that's what Fiona is to Nathan.
Nathan, you worked things out with May?
Yeah, we did.
Then why can't you work things out with Faith? Unless there's...
No, there's... I mean, she doesn't... I mean,
Fiona, as a female friend, can offer Nathan some advices from a female perspective. At the same time, of course, Allie is right there behind them, overhearing this conversation. Allie is at that age where she can understand some aspects of love, and of course she wants to see her dad to be happy with the woman that he wants to be with for the rest of his life, and just have that complete family picture, right?
If there's nothing there, then why don't you clear the air? And the best way to do that is by talking.
Well, that was awkward.
Yeah, Nathan, he can be that guy that cannot open up easily for some reason, especially when it comes to women. And that happened a few times in season 6, 7 with that crazy love triangle, and Elizabeth just like, you know, what's going on with you? Like, why are you not telling me? And he was keeping that secret from Elizabeth until she finally found out, and he had to tell her. So he still had that struggle of just initiating a conversation, be open. He is afraid. He is anxious to be vulnerable and to share his heart with women in a romantic way, in this case with Faith. And Faith, she just like, she doesn't want to like step into any territory, and she just like, you know what, if he want to talk to me, like he will have come to me and talk. And she was also like worried about stepping in between May and Nathan, but it seemed that May and Nathan are better off as friends, and I thought May was the one, but now it's Faith. All over the place.
shouldn't you be in class?
Try to enjoy life, Dad. Carpe diem.
It's tough to enjoy life as an adult, Allie, especially when you are in a complicated love life, like your dad, Nathan. Anyway, she's very blunt, she's very outspoken, she say as it is, and her dad was like, what in the world are you doing here? Allie seemed to have like the perfect timing to be like in the right place, overhearing conversation about her dad love life.
Afternoon.
Henry, I keep telling you, you don't have to come in here. You don't even have to check in if you don't want to.
Those are the terms of my probation.
Well, now there's new terms, all right? If I need you, I'll find you.
Henry Gowan. He's an interesting storyline this season. He knew his mistake. He understood the incoming punishment that he may receive at the upcoming trial. But for now, he's just obeying the rules in Hope Valley, right? And just to be a better man for himself and for the people that he loved in Hope Valley. And Nathan, he's just like, I know you do, like, you don't have to follow every single rule of the probation, like, just stay in Hope Valley, and if he needs Henry, he will come and find him in Hope Valley. But Henry, he went through a lot, and I'm hoping this season he will have that breakthrough, and just to see him happy, you know, like, truly happy.
Gentlemen,
Bill, how was Union City?
some good news
From the doctor?
from the court. They've agreed to a pretrial hearing here in town in 2 weeks. I won't be presiding for obvious reason, but it does give us a chance to get the charges dismissed. It's good news.
That is great news for Henry. He doesn't have to travel out of town for the pre-trial. Nothing like home, right? And he would get the support from other people in Hope Valley when the pre-trial begins in 2 weeks.
Constable Grant,
Yeah.
I need you to sign for a drop-off.
I wasn't expecting a dog.
Name's Scout. He's been assigned to you.
I did not expect this at all. I was like, the last time we had a Mountie dog was with Jack, and it's been a long time actually. Such a cute dog, right? What a grand entrance, an introduction to this character, this dog, and Nathan was like, what in the world? This is a funny and interesting responsibility that Nathan was given as a Mountie.
Signed by who? I didn't request a Mountie dog.
Superintendent Hargraves is allowing a special exemption.
What kind of exemption?
Scout may have been cut from the training program.
So he's not a Mountie dog.
He's a failed Mountie dog.
Another thing added on the plate for Nathan, not only he got a dog, but a failed Mountie dog. So does his boss expect Nathan to train this dog and to help him become a better Mountie dog? Yeah, that's a lot.
And he's gonna be with you for a long time by the looks of him. Oh, it's good. Haven't had a Mountie dog in town for a while.
Scout, come.
Bill was there when Jack had a dog, and now Nathan has a dog. I thought that was a sweet idea by the writer, just to bring another dog in, and we get to see Nathan live with a dog. This would be really interesting because Allie will find out eventually, right? And not only Nathan has a pre-teenager in the house now, a preteen, he now has to deal with a failed Mountie dog at the same time, so he definitely has a lot on his plate.
Looks like Hargraves still has it out for you, pal. How long are you gonna keep pretending that everything's okay?
Then it got a bit serious between Bill and Henry.
Who's pretending? I'm fine. You don't need to worry about me. You're looking at 6 years in prison, Henry. Now, we don't know if we'll be able to beat these charges. It's still a long shot hearing or not.
6 years in prison. I mean, That is a long time. More than a year, I would say, is a long time. No one doesn't want to be in prison, right? But Henry, he understood, like, the punishment that he may get at the trial. Like, he expecting the worst scenario. He knew he made mistakes. Like, he did his trouble, he did his wrongdoings, and he gonna own up to it. But at the same time, hopefully he is enjoying every minute that he has left in Hope Valley as a free man, and to be a better person. Hopefully he working on that. I just want to see that positive breakthrough for him, and hopefully the punishment is not too bad when the trial comes.
Look, whatever happens, happens. That's exactly why I don't want people worrying or knowing. Like we agreed. How are you doing?
Bill is not fine. He is still coughing. Both of these two men are having their own personal struggles right off the bat in the beginning of season 10, and it will be an interesting journey to watch them throughout the season. Bill with his own health problem, and Henry having his personal issues at the same time.
I'm fine. The doctor says I'm right as rain. Well, guess we're both fine then.
Henry, he's just trying to have a positive mindset in preparing for the pre-trial that's gonna happen in Hope Valley in 2 weeks. On the other hand, Bill is like maybe ignoring the doctor, avoiding talking about his health problem to other people, especially Elizabeth. How long he gonna keep it to himself? Like, the symptoms are going to get worse if he doesn't take care of them or see the right doctor on time. You don't want people to find out about your sickness when it's too late, right? It's better to have that support in the beginning of your health battle.
If we cut any more lumber leaves, we're gonna run out of places to store it.
Yeah, I hear you. Maybe we should give the men a couple of paid days vacation. What do you think?
That's not a long-term solution, my friend.
Yeah, I know. Waiting on a couple of contracts, though. One of them's really big. New waterworks project.
Lee hired a lot of workers for his lumber company. In the past, Joseph, he is concerned about that because if you hire too many people, right, you would run out of money to support them, to pay them. So Joseph, like, thinking ahead, but Lee, he's like going with his heart, like he has compassion for the people of Hope Valley and try to help provide jobs to these workers to allow them to have a stable income for themselves and their families.
Just gotta finesse the buyer a little bit.
Pretty soon we're gonna be finessing the payroll, Lee.
Yeah, I know, you're right. Look, I gotta go back to the yard, all right? There we go.
Mr. Coulter? The missus made this for the new baby?
Hopefully that contract, that partnership with Waterworks will go through, and that will help Lee and his company run longer instead of laying people off, right? If you lay people off, that's a bad picture. That's a bad public image. I mean, I think it's worse to lay off people than saying no to more people.
It's a sweater.
Well, thank you, Brent. That's very kind of you.
Thank you. Without this job, I don't know what we do.
Well, you thank your wife for both Rosemary and me. We'll put it to good use. Hopefully soon, but not too soon. All right, you're doing a great job. Thank you very much.
When you do good to other people, right, life gives you blessing in return. God blesses you back when you blesses other people. Lee did a lot of things for Hope Valley in the past few months. He helped a lot of people, especially these people that he hired to help them to have a job. And this man walked up to him and gave him a gift, a handmade sweater by his wife, just to show appreciation to Lee. Of course, it touched Lee's heart, and he knew he did the right thing, even though the money situation is not good, and Joseph just kindly reminding Lee, like, hey, we cannot hire any more people. Also, I love how Lee complimented that worker, like, hey, you're doing a great job. that boost of confidence, compliment. I think it's very important for bosses to remind the employees when they're doing something good, praising the employee for the good work and encouraging them to keep doing the good work. I thought that was a very nice touch from a boss to an employee.
When did you hire him?
Uh-huh. Isn't it you who's always saying the good Lord will provide?
That is me, yes, I do say it.
All right, see you later.
Okay, let's go.
Joseph meant well, and it seemed that he's the money guy in the business, the lumber business. He sees the number. Lee, he goes with his gut, he goes with his heart, but at the same time, you don't want to bankrupt or be in the red numbers. You know, you want to have profits. You don't want to lose the business just because you hire too many people.
Robert!
Sarah forgot her lunch.
Oh, thank you. I will see that she gets it. Everything all right?
Robert graduated, right? So he's not in class anymore. Very bittersweet seeing him outside of the classroom. Very thoughtful of him to drop off his sister's lunch. I didn't know he has a little sister, unless I didn't pay attention, but that's pretty cool.
Not really. My mom and dad got an offer on the farm. I guess I'm moving to Cape Fullerton.
Why? Your family seems so happy here.
There's a boundary line between home life and teacher, right? A student or the parents of a student will tell as much as they want to a teacher. Elizabeth knew something was going on with Robert, and Robert opened up to Elizabeth. And to me, it tells me that he's very comfortable, very open to Elizabeth about almost anything, and he trusts her that she will keep it to herself and consider the information that he tells her as confidential.
My dad's been looking for a new job since the Derricks closed.
I'm sorry. But surely someone in town can hire him.
He said no one needs the help, so the job is really a handout. And you know my dad.
Of course, Elizabeth is sad to hear that Robert's family will be living Hope Valley. Hope Valley has been going through a lot of changes, a lot of moving out, and lesser jobs in town.
Does Sarah know?
My parents are going to tell her tomorrow. She's going to be so upset. She loves coming to school.
Going to school in general is not fun, but if you have a great teacher, a safe and friendly environment, it makes a huge difference. So Elizabeth is a great teacher, and Sarah enjoys going to school and making new friends and learning with the kids on the lesson that Elizabeth offered in class. But overall, it's really sad that the Robert family decided to move out of Hope Valley. If they truly do leave, though, technically we will not see Robert anymore, and that'd be really sad. Now I remember Robert and Allie. Is something gonna happen later this season? Because there was a thing going on between Robert and Allie. And then Allie, it's complicated, I'm done. And I think Robert was, hanging out with a different girl.
Hi, Ned.
Hello.
Like to place an order.
Certainly. Well, that's quite a list. What's it for?
It's a surprise.
A surprise? I love surprises.
Living in a small town, everyone knows everyone and everyone overhears everything. So of course Minnie joined the conversation. She loves surprises.
Well, good. Minnie, I was hoping I might ask you a big favor. In private.
Of course.
I also love a good surprise.
Great. You can help spread the word. Tomorrow evening at the saloon, everyone's invited.
And then it reminded me that Lucas loved doing good surprises for the people that he loves. It reminds me also of season 7, I forgot. Him and Elizabeth were talking about how life is full of surprises, and then he did that surprise date for Elizabeth, that picnic date as a couple. So Lucas, he doing that surprise adventure once again.
Certainly. Can I get a hint as to...
I thought you said you loved a good surprise.
Well, I certainly love it when other people are surprised.
Ah. Sorry, Ned. You'll have to wait. Mm-hmm.
Ned, he tried, but Lucas said a good surprise, so it would definitely be a good surprise at the saloon for the town of Hope Valley. Lucky for Minnie, she got to participate in planning the surprise, so she would know firsthand what Lucas is up to before everyone else. I also thought about how nice it was to see an interaction between Lucas and Minnie. I think this is the first time. Lucas usually with either Elizabeth or Lee, other people, but we get to see Lucas and Minnie work together for this nice surprise that he planned for the town.
Oh, here you are. Get out of the jail. Scout, come. Okay, fine. Have it your way. But, just so you know, I don't like this any more than you do.
Red flag, the dog is on top of a bed in the jail cell, so that's like a big no-no. That dog needs some training, and we'll see if Nathan will give him the proper training. This dog needs love, attention, patience. Maybe Nathan will take the time to improve this dog until the end of the season. We'll see about that.
Oh my gosh! Do we get a dog?
No. And don't get attached.
Once again, I think it's a great idea to have a mouthy dog again. And it brings like that entertainment, that liveliness in Nathan, like it's so funny watching him like be mad at this dog, and he talking to this dog even though the dog doesn't like him back either, and not listening to Nathan. It's humor at the same time.
He's got more attitude than you do.
Right. So much attitude.
That looks like a commercial break, so we will end it here. Allie and the dog. Of course, the dog likes Allie. Dog can pick up vibes, sense people, So he's like, Allie's is cool, but not my foster dad Nathan. He doesn't like me at the moment. Allie, she's like so thrilled and happy and excited to have a dog in the family. But for now, it's temporary, but I feel like it's gonna be permanent. We'll see. We'll see what happens this season. Nathan, he is funny. He's like, the dog has more attitude than Allie. But at the same time, like I said before, he's dealing with a preteen, Allie, and a dog. It's like he's dealing with two teenagers right now at the same time, and I think it would be a fun entertainment to see Nathan be a parent to Allie and a dog dad to Scout. Now I think of my aunt dog. My aunt dog was a golden retriever, and his name was Scout. Oh, now I think of him every time I see this dog. I hope you enjoyed this first part review for episode 1 of season 10 of Whencallstheheart. Any comments, give a like, subscribe, feel free to do so. I love chatting with other Hearties and just rant about this show. So at any time, please share your thoughts, your opinions about anything that happened in each episode. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you are doing well, and I will see you next time. Bye.